Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Gurudev, all glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to you for being here today. Today, we are very much blessed. We have His Grace SRIVAS VANACARI. He's our own dad, our big brother, our everything. He will be speaking to us today. I was sharing with some of you here earlier that Salika Prabhu was sharing with me how busy schedule His Grace has, but he still tried and found a way to be with us. So we're not going to have much of his time today as we usually do. So we all should try to pay close attention, and when it's time for questions and answers, if we can be straightforward to the questions so that Prabhuji wouldn't be here for longer than he needs to. With that said, Prabhuji, if you're ready, we'll put the verse on the screen and you may begin.
We are ready.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is the last but one verse,
Yes.
but
Yes.
it is the last one with purpose. So it seems you
Yeah.
are ending the
Yes.
one for us. How
Yes.
beautiful! It's so beautiful that you are ending it. So Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Narayana namaskritya nara chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasatato jayamudirayat nashta prayeshva bhadresu nityam bhagavatam sevaya bhagavati uttamasloke bhakti bhavati naistiki. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. So we are reading from the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, Canto 1, Chapter 19, Texts 39 and 40. Chapter 19 is entitled The Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami, and we're ending the chapter today with 39 and 40. The 39 has the purport, and the 40 has non-purport. So we shall read the 39 first, which says, Nam nam bhagavato brahman grihe sugriha medinam nan lakshyate avastanam api godohanam kwachit. Nunam bhagavato brahman grihe sugriha medinam nalakshaste avastanam api godohanam kwachit. Nunam bhagavato brahman grihe sugriha medinam nalakshyate avastanam api godohanam kwachit. So word for word translation. Nam, because Bhagavata, of you who are powerful, Brahman, O Brahmana, Grihesu, in the houses, Griha Medinam, of the householders, Na, not, Lakshate, as seen, he, said exactly, Avastanam, staying in, Api, even, Go dohanam, milking the cow, kwachit, really. Translation. O powerful Brahmana, it is said that you hardly stay in the house of men long enough to milk a cow. Purport. Saints and sages in the renounced order of life go to the houses of the householders at the time they milk the cows early in the morning, and ask some quantity of milk for subsistence. A pound of milk fresh from the milk bag of a cow is sufficient to feed an adult with all vitamin values, and therefore saints and sages live only on milk. Even the poorest of the householders keep at least 10 cows, each delivering 12 to 20 quarts of milk, and therefore no one hesitates to spare a few pounds of milk for the mendicants. It is a duty of householders to maintain the saints and sages like their children. So a saint like Shukadeva Goswami would hardly stay at the house of a householder for more than 5 minutes in the morning. In other words, such saints are very rarely seen in the houses of householders. And Maharaj Parikshit therefore prayed to him to instruct him as soon as possible. The householders also should be intelligent enough to get some transcendental information from visiting sages. The householders should not foolishly ask a saint to deliver what is available in the market. That should be the reciprocal relation between the saints and the householders. Then we will look at the text 40, which says, Sutta Ovacha Evam Abhishita Prishtaha Sarajna Slaksnaya Gira Pratya Bhashata Dharmagyo Bhagavan Bhadrayane. The translation is, Sri Sutta Goswami said, the king thus spoke and questioned the sage using the sweet language. Then the great and powerful personality, the son of Vyasadeva, who knew the principles of religion, began his reply. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 19th chapter of the SRIMAD Bhagavatam, entitled The Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami. So, again, the verse, O Brahmana, O powerful Brahmana, it is said that you hardly stay in the house of men long enough to milk a cow. Om Jnana Timaridasya Jnanan Janashalakaya Chakshura Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yukta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahogana Ragunastam Bitam Tam Sanjivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Iti Namini Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Ashri Tatmane Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Iti Namini Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvesesa Sunyavadi Pasachade Satarine Vanchakalpatarvyascha Kripasindubhyai Vacha Patitanam Pavenebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namini Gauratize Namaha Nityanando Vatutendur Vasoda Pranavala Bahar Janaviri Jivita Patir Krishna Prema Prabhu Padmavati Sutta Srimam Sachirananda Pravajaha Mavum Mata Jagatrakta Rakta Gora Kele Varaha Advaitam Harina Dvaita Acharyam Bhakti Shamshanat Bhaktavataram Itam Sham Advaita Acharya Ashraye Panchatattvamakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shantikam Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Maraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pankajanabaya Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanitraya Namaste Pankajagraye Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagaritaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopita Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Jayatam Surato Pango Mama Madirgatima Sarvaswa Padam Puja Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vindaranya Kalpa Drumada Srimad Ranadgara Simhastana Stau Sri Sri Radha Srila Govinda Devo Pristyali Visivya Manosmarami Shrimam Rasa Rasaram Vivam Sivata Tatastita Karsan Venuswanai Gopi Gopinata Sriyestunaha Taptakan Chana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavanishwari Vrishabhanu Surte Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Devi Krishna Mai Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarvan Lakshmi Mai Sarvam Kanti Samohini Paraha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. O powerful Brahmana, it is said that you hardly stay in the houses of men long enough to milk a cow. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum lagayete grim yat kri patamahan vande Shri Guru Dina Taranam Paramanam Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Akanda Mandalakram Vyaptayina Characharam Tatpadam Dashitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So everyone is welcome to today's discussion from this Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, Text 39 and 40. Text 39, Chapter 19 is entitled The Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami. Before we proceed to say something about these verses, we would seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis so that we can, with their blessing, execute this sacred function of representing Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Parikshit Maharaj is speaking. Oh, powerful Brahmana, it is said that you hardly stay in a house of men long enough to milk a cow. So, in the Vedic times, every householder maintains some number of cows. And keeping a cow is so essential for the daily livelihood of the family. The presence of the cow in the atmosphere is very auspicious. Besides getting the milk from the cow, the mere presence of the cow in the house is an indication of auspiciousness. It is said that all the 33 million demigods, they are all located on the body of the cow. And it is said that even in the nervous system of the cow, there are special nerves that are connected to the sun god. We may see the cows as ordinary living beings and ordinary animals, but actually the cows are connected to the sun god. And that is why if you look at ghee, and the ghee is produced from the milk, the ghee looks yellowish. It is said that the yellowish color of the ghee actually reflects the yellowish color of the sun rays. And in Vedic times, in Ayurveda, which is the Asian medical system, ghee plays a very crucial role in curing many diseases. Even it is said that if you have constant nosebleed, you just drop some ghee in your nose and it will stop it. Besides that, eating ghee actually nourishes the cells of the body, just as drinking milk nourishes the brain tissues. So the cow is a miracle animal, just as milk is miracle food. We can even see that the dung of the cow dung, is antiseptic. It's amazing. The Vedic scripture says no one should ever touch the stool of an animal. If you touch the stool of an animal, you have to take a bath. You are considered contaminated, impure. But cow dung is excluded. Cow dung is an antiseptic. Cow dung is pure. That when there is impurities in the house, one can use cow dung to purify the impurities. In fact, we can even see when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, when Krishna was carried away by the Trinavarta demon, immediately Krishna was recovered from the Trinavarta demon. The ladies of Vrindavan, Yashoda Mai, Rohini, and their friends, they immediately use so many aspects of the cow to purify Krishna, even though Krishna is, he is the purest of the pure. Pavitram Uttamam. Arjuna says that in Bhagavad Gita. He is Pavitram Uttamam. He is the purest of the pure. In the Ishopanishad, he is also described as Apapa Vidam. Apapa Vidam means Krishna is so pure that anything that touches Krishna becomes purified. But even this Apapa Vidam or Pavitram Uttamam, which is Krishna, the personality of Krishna, when Krishna was carried away by the Trinavarta demon, he had to be purified by using the cow tail to brush the body of Krishna, and using the cow dung to bathe Krishna. That tells us the potency, the power, the auspiciousness of this sacred animal called cow. So here it is said that the householders, Prabhupada writes that every householder kept at least 10 cows. And from these 10 cows, they would get enough milk to feed the family, and they would have some to spare for the saintly people, the sadhus, who will visit them during the time of milking these cows. In fact, recently, we went on some preaching program to some villages in India, and exactly what Prabhupada is describing here in this verse is still being practiced. In every household, they have cows. Every householder has cows because these animals are just wonderful. I remember in the village when we were growing up, cow dung was such a special thing. Those days, cement wasn't common. So the ladies would go around picking cow dung, fresh cow dung, and they would mix it with clay, and they would use it to polish or cement or decorate the buildings. And anytime it was done, the room would smell very nice. Every person would like to sit in that room, would like to sleep in that room. When they use the cow dung to cement the floor, they use the cow dung to cement the walls, the place will look very, very nice and very auspicious. And the dry cow dung, we the children, we will be sent out to pick the dry cow dung. And then in the morning or at night, they will place the dry cow dung inside the fire, and the smoke will purify the whole house. I did not understand when we were doing these things in the village. But when I began to study the Vedic scriptures, then I can understand the auspiciousness of the cow. So every householder keeps cows for getting the miracle food, milk, for producing ghee, producing butter, producing yogurt, producing so many things. Prabhupada said, just from milk alone, we can produce unlimited recipes. And from milk, one can obtain ghee. And from ghee, one can perform yagya. Without ghee, there is no possibility of performing yagyas. So the importance of the cow cannot be overemphasized. But we can have a clue from this, that the milk from the cow nourishes the family, and the same milk is also given to the sadhus who are the visionaries. They are the leaders of society, they are guiding society, they are giving spiritual education, and they're leading everyone out of the material world. They also depend on this miracle food, milk. And actually, milk is said to be the mystery of God's creation. The cows simply eat grass, and then the grass is converted into milk. And from that milk, so many things can be derived. Now, it has been found out that the urine of the cow is also a great source of medication. Cow urine tablets can cure unlimited number of diseases. It cures AIDS, it cures cancer, it cures so many things. It balances the body, the kapha, the vata, and the vata kapha, and what is the third item? Pittas, yes, the vata, pitta, and kapha. Air, mucus, and what is it? Bile and bile. So the point here is that the grahastas in the morning, they milk their cows in order to supply the needs of the family. And then while they're milking, the saintly people will come around, like Shukadev Goswami. He would come around, stand by, and they would understand that he needs the milk. They will supply him whatever he needed. So the Vedic system is such that even the poorest householder would take care of his family needs and take care of the sadhu's need. That is the Vedic economy. So Shukadev Goswami would spend 5 minutes in the homes of grihastas just to receive this miracle food called milk. So it is important that within these 5 minutes, the grihastas, they have to inquire from Shukadev Goswami, because there is a reciprocation. Just as the grihastas are offering their milk for the nourishment of the brain and body of the sadhus, they have to nourish the soul, nourish the mind, nourish the intelligence of the householders by speaking spiritual knowledge. So, Srila Prabhupada mentions that there is a need of reciprocation. So it is said that the householders, they ask questions. They inquire from Shukadev Goswami about their spiritual needs, about spiritual knowledge, and by such interaction, they are able to gain spiritual understanding. So this is important. Tesham vicharatam padbyam kirtanam pravene chaya bitasya kimna rochita tavakanam samangama. The devotees of the Lord, they wander all over the world just to purify even the holy places of pilgrimage. They wander all over the world to educate and enlighten the blind householders. They travel all over the world to distribute knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, under the guise of begging for a pot of milk, a pint of milk, they give the householders such transcendental knowledge. So this is, the Vedic tradition is a tradition of reciprocation. The Vedic tradition is a tradition of exchanges. The householders supply the saintly people some milk to nourish their bodies and nourish their brains. And the saintly people, like Shukadev Goswami, they nourish the soul, they nourish the mind, they nourish the intelligence by speaking transcendental knowledge to the householders. So therefore, the devotees of the Lord, the saintly devotees of the Lord, they are very dear to the Lord because they carry the Lord in their heart. They carry the message of the Lord with them. And as they travel, they share this knowledge with everyone. And that is why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Pritivite ache yata nagara di grama, sarvatra prachara haibe mora nama. Lord Chaitanya wanted his followers to move all over the whole world, to travel all over the whole world, from village to village, from town to town, in order to deliver this knowledge, in order to bless the householders with this knowledge. So, and of course, Krishna also spoke the Bhagavad Gita to the sun god and later on to Arjuna. Why is the Lord speaking these scriptures to saintly people, saintly kings? Because the saintly kings can distribute this knowledge. They can use this knowledge to rule the citizens. In one purport of the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, Srila Prabhupada says that the kings are supposed to be Raja Rishis, spiritually educated, spiritually mature kings, because it is the duty of the king to ensure that the citizens are spiritually minded. The citizens are getting spiritual education. But if the king himself is not interested in spiritual life, if the king himself is not practicing spiritual life, how can he enhance the lives of others? So, Lord Chaitanya instructs everyone, especially his followers, his devotees, to travel throughout the world in order to spread this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Those householders who are fortunate to have such devotees like Shukadev Goswami or the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming into their homes in the guise of asking for some contribution, in the guise of asking for a cup of milk. Actually, it is not a cup of milk they want. They actually want to give them transcendental knowledge. When the sadhus go to the householders to beg, they're actually not begging. They are going to give. Because whatever they get from the householders, comparatively is very insignificant. But the knowledge they give, the enlightenment they give, the nourishment, the spiritual nourishment they give is so great. It cannot be calculated in terms of financial value. But that is a reciprocation that exists between the householders and the saintly devotees of the Lord. So it is said that devotees like Narada Muni, he travels all over the entire universe, an entire creation, just to give knowledge to everyone he comes across. And that makes the devotees very special. Narayana parasarve nakutaschana bibyati swaga parvaga narakeshu admituliata darshina. A pure devotee of Lord Narayan, he goes everywhere. Even in a hellish planet, the devotees go there in order to enlighten the conditioned souls that are shackled, that are imprisoned in Yamaraj's prison house, the hellish planets. So it is the duty of saintly people to enlighten householders, enlighten everyone, give everyone a chance to hear about Krishna, because the highest good is to spread Krishna consciousness. The greatest gift is to give Krishna consciousness. The greatest welfare work is spreading Krishna consciousness. And so these saintly people, they go to the householders, not because they're hungry, not because they even want milk. They just go there under the guise of begging something. But actually the goal of going there is to give transcendental knowledge. And this transcendental knowledge is described as the sublime gift of the saintly people. Saintly people, they have nothing else to give than their association. They have nothing else to give than transcendental knowledge. They have nothing else to give than to enlighten the householders about the goal of life, which is very important. So here it is said that Shukadev would spend only 5 minutes. So it is said Parikshit Maharaj was appealing to Shukadev Goswami to hurry up in speaking, since he does not spend more than 5 minutes with the grihastas when he goes to collect the milk. He should quickly round up speaking SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM for him to hear, in order for him to achieve the goal of life before Shukadev decides to move, decides to change his mind. So the eagerness to hear Krishna Katha, the eagerness to receive transcendental knowledge is the price one pays for becoming Krishna conscious. There is a story of in the holy places in Mayapur. There is a place called Harihara Kshetra, and near that place, the sages were describing the glories of Krishna. The sages, like the sages of Naimisaranya, before Lord Chaitanya appeared, it is also said that the sages, they were discussing, there was an assembly of thousands of sages, and they were discussing about the appearance of the golden avatar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Shiva, sitting in his abode, could understand that in Mayapur Dham, in Navadvip Dham, there was an assembly where discussion about the golden avatar was going on. So Lord Shiva became very eager to be part of that discussion. So Lord Shiva wrote on top of his bull, Nandini. And Nandini is so fat. Nandini is a bull. He walks at his own pace. So as the bull was walking, Shiva was feeling, if I continue to use this bull, I will be late for this discussion. I will miss out the important part of the discussion. So I have to find some solution to go there and drink the nectar that is going on there. So Lord Shiva, he abandoned his bull and he approached Lord Brahma, his father, and said, my dear father, there is a discussion going on in Navadvip about the golden avatar who is about to appear. And I don't want to miss a drop of that discussion. Can you borrow me your vahan, your swan? Because the swan flies faster than the bull. And Lord Brahma said, all right, since you want to go and be part of the discussion in Navadvip, about the golden avatar. Please, you can use my swan. So Lord Shiva immediately mounted the swan, and he flew quickly. He told the swan, you should go double the speed that you used to carry my father, you used to carry Lord Rama, double it. Something wonderful is happening in Navadvip, and I want to be part of it. So the swan flew very fast, brought Lord Shiva to Navadvip Dam, and then descended among the sages, and Lord Shiva participated in the glorious discussion of Sri Gauranga, the pastors of Sri Gauranga. And when he had drunk the nectar of Gauranga's pastime to his field, he went back and delivered the swan back to his father, Lord Rama. So the eagerness to hear, actually, in the what is this? The Rupa Goswami's book, it is said that the eagerness to hear, the eagerness to engage in bhakti, the eagerness to perform devotional service, that is the prize for becoming Krishna conscious. So Shukadeva Goswami, because of his little time he spends with the householders, Parikshit Maharaj was thinking, if I don't hurry up, if I'm not eager enough to hear from him, he might change his mind. He might want to go somewhere else, and I will not gain the knowledge. I may not gain the enlightenment from him. So therefore, Parikshit Maharaj is eager to hear from Shukadeva Goswami as much as possible within the shortest possible time before Shukadeva Goswami moves from where he is, because he doesn't spend more than 5 minutes when he visits various householders. So it is also mentioned in the what is it? The last verse 40, that the king, Sutta Goswami said, the king that spoke and questioned the sage using sweet language. Then the great and powerful personality, the son of Vyasadeva, who knew the principles of religion, began his reply. So this is also important. Shukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj, he asked the question in a sweet language. The method of asking questions, the method of inquiry has to be appropriate. If we have to receive transcendental knowledge, then we have to approach the source of that knowledge with some etiquette, with some humility, with some appreciation. Then the knowledge will be delivered to us. So it is important that Parikshit Maharaj, who wants to hear from Shukadeva Goswami, he is speaking in such sweet language that would elicit the kindness, the mercy of Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami is the parrot of Srimati Radharani. When Srimati Radharani left the planet, Shukadeva Goswami was feeling lonely. He was feeling great separation from Radharani. So he had to go to the planet of Shiva, because there is a constant speaking of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. And while he was listening to SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, because Parvati was dozing when Shiva was speaking SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. But all of a sudden, Lord Shiva heard some movements, heard some sound, and he noticed that there was a third party besides his wife, there was another living entity, and that is the parrot, Shukadev. So when Lord Shiva noticed that there was a bird listening to the Srimad Bhagavatam, he was narrating to Parvati, Lord Shiva became very angry, and he picked up his trident and wanted to kill Shukadev Goswami, the parrot. So he chased after the parrot. At that particular time, it is said that Srila Vyasadeva was also speaking Srimad Bhagavatam to his wife, and the wife was also dozing off with her mouth open. So Shukadev Goswami flew straight into the mouth of Vyasadeva's wife, and that is how he was conceived. And he stayed there more than 16 years. He did not want to come out because he was thinking, if I come out, I'll be contaminated. Srila Vyasadeva has to go all the way to Dwaraka to invite Lord Krishna to come to promise Shukadev Goswami that if he comes out and continue to recite Srimad Bhagavatam and continue to speak Srimad Bhagavatam, he cannot be contaminated by the modes of nature, by the material impurities. And when Shukadev Goswami heard this, he immediately came out. And when he came out, he renounced home and he went traveling. So we can see that even with his parents, he did not stay long with them. And so when he even goes to milk for his nourishment, for his upkeep, he does not spend time with them. So therefore, Parikshit Maharaj was afraid that if he does not hear from Shukadev Goswami immediately, he does not request him to speak immediately, there is every tendency he might leave there and go elsewhere. And he will not achieve his goal of attaining the lotus feet of Krishna. So therefore, Parikshit Maharaj appealed in a very sweet language, appealed in a very sweet words to Shukadev Goswami. And Shukadev Goswami, who is a great, powerful personality, he knew the principles of religion, and so he began to reply the questions, the inquiries of Parikshit Maharaj. And that is the Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is the questions Parikshit Maharaj placed before Shukadev Goswami, and the answers to those questions constitute the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is our great fortune, and every day we are discussing the Srimad Bhagavatam. By discussing this Srimad Bhagavatam, we are invoking the presence of Shukadev Goswami, we are invoking the presence of Parikshit Maharaj, we are invoking the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore, unfailingly, every day we must hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And in this way, our lives will become successful. I wouldn't go beyond this because we have 6 more minutes to 1 hour. And it's getting late in India. It's already 9, almost getting to 9:30. So if there are some questions or comments, you're welcome. And if there are no comments, we will see another time. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the class as always. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful katha you've fed us today. And like I said, and Prabhuji himself also saying there is no much time for today. So whoever has questions, okay, Shumavara Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna, Dandava Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Varaha Prabhu. My obeisances. Jai, all glories.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you for the nice lectures. I just want to quickly ask one question. First, 2 questions combined. One is, these Vedic stories, some of them, do we have to take them literally? You know, they are just for the lesson's sake. because if we have to take them literally, there are people going to ask questions which we may not be able to answer. One is Shiva, very eager to go and attend the discourse, and then he has to go borrow Brahma's swan. I mean, Shiva can appear wherever he wants to, but just, at will, isn't it? It's Bhuta Bhavata. All the Bhutas can do that. All his servants can do that, without, looking for means of transport.
Yes, yes.
So sometimes this story, that's what. Then the second story is Shukadev entering into Vyasadev's wife's mouth. And
Yeah.
what is the size? What is the size of this parrot to enter into a woman's mouth to swallow up? So this story is, I think, just literally or just for some lessons, just so you can come.
They are accepted literally with explanation. See, in the case of Lord Shiva borrowing Lord Brahma's Vahan, the swan, Lord Shiva was just demonstrating the importance of hearing. He could appear and disappear as he liked. He's not limited, actually. Lord Shiva is not limited. He doesn't really need physical transport. He can appear and disappear as he likes. But for him to go and take Brahma's Vahan, the swan, he is demonstrating to we, the limited human beings, that one must be very eager to hear Gaura Katha or Krishna Katha. So to do that, he goes to Brahma to collect his transport, his means of transport, but he really doesn't need it. So when these great personalities perform some activities, there is a reason behind it. They do it to encourage others. They do it to show others. They do it to set the example, to set a standard for the whole world to follow. As Krishna himself said, Yad Yad Acharate Shrastas. Whatever great people do, the whole world would follow. So whatever standard is set, the whole world pursues. So Lord Shiva does not need a transport, but just showed his eagerness. The principle there is the eagerness to hear. That is why he went for the swan. And even fly with his bull if he wanted to. He could do that. But he's just showing that one should be eager to hear. In the case of Shukadeva Goswami, Shukadeva Goswami as a parrot, if Shukadeva Goswami is the parrot of Srimati Radharani, then we must understand he's a great yogi. We must understand it's not just an ordinary parrot. How can a parrot fly all the way from this planet to Shiva's planet, unless it's a special parrot? But when he was feeling separation from Radharani, this parrot flew all the way to Shiva's planet, where Lord Shiva resides in Bhagavatam every moment. How does he understand that? Because he knows his three color gear. He understands past, present, and future. So he understood some Srimad Bhagavatam Katha is going on somewhere. Let me go and drink it. So when Lord Shiva chased him, if he were an ordinary parrot, Lord Shiva would have captured that parrot. But because he is also a very powerful personality, very exalted personality, appearing as a parrot, Lord Shiva could not catch him. He chased him all the way from his planet to Vyasadev's ashram in the Himalayas. And there, Vyasadev's wife was dozing off with her mouth open. So as a yogi, he can reduce himself to any size, and he entered the mouth of Vyasadev's wife, his mother. So there is nothing impossible for Lord Shiva because he is the greatest yogi, is the greatest mystic. He's actually the master of the mystics. So whatever may seem impossible is possible for Lord Shiva, such an exalted Vaishnava.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Just on the same day, Shikadev Swami stayed 16 years in his mother's womb. But it's also a shame that he uses mystical power to reduce his growth when he was in
the womb. Yes.
Yeah. That after 10 months, he stopped himself from growing. And then when he came out, then he manifested a food form and then walked out of the house. So Shikadev Swami manifested his yogic power several times. Thank you very much.
Yes, he was able to stay in the womb for 16 years. Even somewhere it is mentioned that he spent 20 years. But when he came out of the womb, he immediately assumed the age of a 16-year-old boy. So he's a great yogi, he's a great mystic, and there is no question of any limitation. But he only does these things just to teach the general populace.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the answer. And Shivara Prabhu, thank you for the question. And at the same time, bringing it to understanding. Sometimes what we read from the scriptures are not just literal, they have deeper meaning. Thank you. Hare Chakra Prabhu, please give me unmute.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Chakra Prabhu. My obeisances.
My obeisances, Prabhu. All glories to Gurudev, all glories to Prabhupada, and all glories to you, and all glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. How are you, Prabhu?
By Krishna's mercy, we are still breathing.
All right. My question is like somehow in line with the question Baraha Prabhu was asking.
Okay.
Because in the purport, when you were reading the purport, it was stated that the great sages, whenever they go to the house of the householders, they only stay there as long as the time that is used to milk the cow, which is about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, and they say they go there especially to bless the household by answering their spiritual questions.
Yeah.
So my question is, 5 minutes. How long will it even take the householder to be able to ask the questions and for him to also answer the questions and at the same time drink his little milk that he has? So does that mean that you may ask maybe one question and then he leaves? Or if he answers a question and you don't even understand it properly, what time are you going to have to get further explanation?
Yes. You see, such exalted souls, even one word is enough to enlighten a living being. Even if they don't speak, just by their presence, that 5 minutes presence creates a revolution in the lives of such people. In fact, Lord Chaitanya says, Lava mantra, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Hai. Lava mantra means a moment, a fraction of a minute, a fraction of a second is enough for one to tap spiritual energy. So 5 minutes, 5 minutes association, 5 minutes presence of such an exalted personality is enough to deliver the householders. They may ask questions within that 5 minutes, and they may not ask questions within that 5 minutes, but just by seeing him. In fact, there is a verse There's a verse that says, how fortunate I am. I can't remember the Sanskrit, but how fortunate I am to cast my eyes on you. Just by seeing you, my whole life is purified. Just by hearing you, my ears are purified. Just by coming in contact with you, my life has become successful. So the exalted devotees, exalted Vaishnavas, they may speak or they may not speak, but the message is clear because of the association, because of the spiritual environment they carry. Just by walking into your compound, just by coming close to you, they give their blessings. Unfortunate are those who can ask questions within the 5 minutes. If they are not able to ask any question, just by walking into your compound and just by receiving service from these people, receiving your milk, what a great fortune it is for such householders. So the communication, the transaction does not require great length of time. Within one moment, one can attain perfection. And that happened to Katranga Maharaj. Katranga Maharaj had fought on behalf of the demigods. And when he defeated the demons, then the demigods were very happy. They were benedicting him. They were giving him all kinds of benedictions for the yeoman's job he did, that wonderful service he did. And then Katranga Maharaj asked them, how long am I going to live with all these benedictions you are giving me? And the demigod said, well, you have 1 moment to live. And he said, oh, then what is the use of all these benedictions? But then within that 1 moment, Katranga Maharaj gained self-realization. Within that moment, he became totally Krishna conscious, and he went back home, back to Godhead. So Krishna consciousness doesn't really depend on time. It doesn't depend on the length of time. It depends on the eagerness. Again, we come back to the word eagerness. The eagerness to associate, the eagerness to hear, the eagerness to speak. These are the criteria that actually manifest Krishna consciousness in the living entity. So the time may be 5 minutes, it may be 4 minutes, it may be 3 minutes, it may be 2 minutes, it may be a fraction of a minute, but just by the presence of such exalted souls, the householders are benefited.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
I have a follow-up question.
Okay, go ahead.
Am I going to sleep today? I won't sleep.
Oh, Prabhu, this last one. If you answer mine and you don't answer anybody, that's okay.
This man is trying.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Hare Chakra, Prabhu, we just heard yesterday that we should not be selfish.
Oh, I'm not being selfish. I'm only helping everybody.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. So
okay, go ahead, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu, my question is, most of the time when you speak, sometimes you say it is said, and you give a nice story. Then I'll go out and repeat that story. And when I'm challenged, where did you get it from? Then I'm stuck. I said, oh, well, I heard it from SRIVAS VANACARI. It's like one time I heard a lecture from what do you call Vishnu Jam Maharaj, and he was talking about the 7 demons that resides in us, last greed and all these things, and he represented them with the different incarnations of Jai and Vijay.
Yeah.
And I spoke it in a class, and someone said, where did you get it from? I said, well, I heard it from Vishnu Jam Maharaj. And I didn't have where to refer, where the references. So example you just gave about that the 33 million demigods, it is said that they are all found in the bodies of the cow. So if I go and repeat it somewhere, where would my reference be?
Okay, it is in the Puranas. I can get a reference for you.
Okay.
I can get it from you. I will send it to you on WhatsApp.
All right.
I'll get a reference from you.
Thank you.
Yes. So,
Hare
Krishna, I've seen three more hands.
Yeah, we go to His Grace Ganga Prashad Prabhu. Please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Ganga Prashad Prabhu. Nice to see you.
All glories to Guru and Goranga, all glories to La Prabhupada.
Jai.
It is
Virtual
always
darshan. I'm having virtual darshan of all of you.
It's always a pleasure to be in your audience and tap from your wealth of wisdom. Prabhu Hari Chakra represented every aspect of my question. Exactly what he asked is what I wanted to ask, but because I've been given the opportunity, let me just recap my own disposition.
All right.
So I will take it from the angle of 5 minutes. I was wondering, in 5 minutes, you milk cow, you ask questions, you have answers to the questions, how practicable it is. But when he asked and you have answered, I want to digress now and say, what should be the mood we cultivate? You said, whatever a great man does, common men follow. When you were speaking about Shiva getting the swan of Brahma. So here in the text we are reading, it says 5 minutes. Parikshit Maharaj is caused to live for 7 days. And he wants to cover the whole Bhagavatam in 7 days. We are not sure how long. We don't know whether we have 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 years, or 7 minutes, 7 seconds like this. So what should be the mood we cultivate to be able to maximize our benefits?
Yeah, that's a very important question. Very important. That is the real essence of hearing. Srila Rupa Goswami says in the Nectar of Instruction, the Upadeshamrita, which Prabhupada commented on in the introduction, he says the advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the practitioner. The advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the practitioner. So our mood is very important. The mood we have, the mood we cultivate, the mood we carry, these are very important elements that attracts the mercy of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. It is said, what is the verse? It's a very beautiful verse that says, Radhe Vrindavan Indishe, Radhe Vrindavan Indishe, Karunamritam Vahini, Karunamritam Vahini, Pripaya Nijabat Padamja, Darsham Mayam Pradayitam. Srimati Radharani, she is an ocean of mercy. Amritam Vahini. She's an ocean of nectar. She's an ocean of bliss. Kripaya Nijapadamja. She is always ready to give mercy to the devotees. But he looks at the attitude of the devotee. He looks at the mood of the devotee. He looks at the disposition of the devotee. So that is why I said that question you asked is actually the crux of the matter. Why is it that some people are making quick advancement in Krishna consciousness? We are all chanting the same mantra. We are all eating the same prasadam. We are all seeing the same deities. We are all in the same ISKCON. But we are getting these different results. Why? Because of this factor. the attitude, the mood, the disposition. So we have to understand, just as you said, we don't know when we are going to leave these bodies. We don't know when our time will be up. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. It could be 10 years. It could be 100 years. So whatever it is unknown to us. And that is the mystery of death. Parikshit Maharaj was so fortunate. Parikshit Maharaj was such an exalted personality that Krishna used Shringi to tell him how long he was going to live, how many more days he had to live. And the same Krishna arranged for Shukadeva Goswami to come and deliver him by speaking Srimad Bhagavatam to him for the 7 days. We are not so fortunate to know how soon we shall be departing, how soon we're going to leave. Nobody knows. So it is important for us to be in the mood that I may leave tomorrow. I may leave within a week. I may leave within a month. I don't know. So if we have this mood and we have this attitude, then we can approach spiritual life much more seriously. But most of the times, we are thinking, I'm still young. We are thinking, others are dying, I won't die. I mean, that is the wonder of this material world. Even though we see people dying every day, we are still thinking that for me, I'm not included. For me, I can live as long as I want, but we don't know who is next. So we have to, in fact, it is mentioned somewhere that out of fear of death, Brahma performed devotional service. Even though Brahma is living for 100 years, which is 311 trillion, 40 billion years, Brahma is executing devotional service because he's afraid he will die. So we should cultivate the mood of always thinking that my time is limited. We are living on borrowed time. And if we are living on borrowed time, then we must apply ourselves very seriously to the practice of Krishna consciousness. And that mood, that attitude, that disposition will attract Srimati Radharani's mercy. And she's always eager to benedict the devotees with his kindness, with his empowerment, with his mercy. I don't know whether I've answered your question, Ganga Prasad Prabhu.
Perfectly. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Maybe one last question. I think Govinda Prabhu's hand
Yes.
up.
Govinda Prabhu will be the last person. So you may go, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Govinda Prabhu.
Unmute, Prabhuji. Govinda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, SRIVAS Maharaj, please accept my humble
Hare
obeisances.
Krishna. Accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Gurudev.
All glory to Gurudev. All glories to you. Prabhupada. All glories to you. All glories to your service.
I always see
Hare
you.
Krishna.
I always see you in action all the time.
See, I'm supposed to be distributing books.
Well,
hereby I'm kept here in this cage.
don't worry, you're distributing books. It's also part of the distribution. So what is your question, Prabhu? What is your contribution or question?
Thank you very much. Actually, your answer to Ganga Prasad Prabhu's question has actually summarized all we needed to hear for the day.
Oh, okay.
So I actually don't need to ask any question, but we don't often get you, so when we get you like this, if our is going to go with you, hold your noti.
Hare Krishna.
See,
well,
when you were explaining about this time,
the 5 minutes time factor. I was wondering, you know, in the Satya Yuga, people used to live for about 100,000 of years.
Yeah.
100,000 years. And if you see the structure of their bodies, that time I'm comparing to the structure of the living entities. I mean, with the human beings here in Kali Yuga, we live for only 100 years. And it said the time consumes our lifespan. The time consumes our lifespan. So the question was that 5,000 years ago, the time that people used to live for 100,000 of years, is it the same time that we use here in Kali Yuga?
Well, every age has its duration and it also has the lifespan of the people. So we know Satya Yuga, the age was 100,000 years, and Satya Yuga lasted 1.8 million. Then in Treta Yuga, it was 1.2 million, and people lived 10,000 years. Then in Dwarapa Yuga, the age lasted for 860,000 years, and the age of the people were 1,000 years. And in Kali Yuga, the age is lasting 4.32 thousand years, and the age is 100 years. So each age, according to the length of the age, the age of the human beings is also calculated. If the age 1.8 million years was the length of the yuga, and so the age of the people at that time was 100,000. Then when the age of Treta Yuga reduced to 1.2, the age of the people also reduced to 10,000. When the length of Dwarapa Yuga reduced to 860, the age of the people also reduced to 1,000. And when the length of Kali Yuga is reduced to 432,000, then the age of people in Kali Yuga is also reduced to 100. So each age has its duration, and in that age, the lifespan of the living entities is given. So in Kali Yuga began 5,000 years back. Of course, there is what is called sandhyas. Sandhyas means there is a junction or a conjunction. When you end up with Dwarapa Yuga, when Dwarapa Yuga is ended, and we are moving into Kali Yuga, there is a junction. There is some qualities of Dwarapa Yuga and there is some qualities of Kali Yuga. They meet. Like if you go to a river where two rivers are meeting, you will see a thin line between the two rivers. The water looks different. So it's called sandhya, a junction. So that is different. But when we are talking about the actual age, the age is Kali Yuga. And so people are supposed to live 100 years. Of course, there is plus or minus. Some people may go beyond the 100, but yeah, very few. But generally, one should be 100 years old. So our timing is different. It is also mentioned that according to the distance of the planet from the sun, our time differs. Brahma is also living 100 years. The demigods are also living 100 years. We are also living 100 years. But our 100 years is different from that of the demigods and different from that of Brahma. Why? Because it is said that the distance of the planet to the sun determines how long your time will be. So Brahma's planet is closer to the sun. So his 100 years calculated to earthly years is 311 trillion years, 40 billion, because he's closer to the sun. The demigods are much closer to the sun than us. So one day on the heavenly planet is 6 months on an earthly planet. And as you go down the universe, the age decreases. It decreases because of the distance away from the sun. So that is also a factor that actually determines how long different living entities live. Each yuga has its duration, and each yuga has a lifespan for the citizens or for the beings. But also our distance from the sun, the planet's distance from the sun, also determines how long the living entities on a particular planet can live. Of course, it also mentioned that the size of the body also matters. For instance, the mosquito, the ant, they are also living on this planet, but the size of their body determines how long they live. They cannot live 100 years of the human being. They can live 100 years of their time, which may be a few hours or a few days. So there are many factors that determine timing. One is and also the speed of the planet also affects our bodies. So as I said, there are many factors that actually determine how long one should live in a particular age or a particular planet. I don't know whether I've done justice.
Yeah, so yeah, you took us very, very deep. This is very deep. But, you know, if I understand you, well, that means that the 5 minutes that we're talking about that time is completely different from our 5 minutes here today.
Well, I'm not too sure, because this thing happened at the beginning of Kali Yuga. When Parikshit Maharaj was cursed, it is said that that was the beginning of Kali Yuga. When Shringi cursed Parikshit Maharaj, it is said that he actually introduced Kali Yuga. Parikshit Maharaj was holding Kali Yuga by the bulls. Parikshit Maharaj was keeping Kali Yuga under control. But somehow or the other, Kali came through Shringi and caused a havoc. So we can say that was a Sandhya. It's a Sandhya because the Dwarapa Yuga was just going. When Krishna left, Dwarapa Yuga was coming to an end and Kali Yuga was beginning. So we can say within that period, it can be described as Sandhya. But with the pronouncement of Shringi, it is said that that pronouncement he made actually initiated the arrival of Kali Yuga. So we can say, and then a few days after that, or the same moment, same day, Shukadeva Goswami appeared and spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. So we can say that the time difference is not so much, because it's either the Sandhya time or it's perfectly in Kali Yuga. If you consider some Puranas say that the very moment Shringi made the pronouncement that you're going to die in 7 days, he had initiated the presence of Kali Yuga. And so from that moment onwards, we started to experience Kali Yuga. Some Puranas say when Krishna left the planet, then Kali Yuga set in. So different authorities, different acharyas, they have their tikas, they have their way of seeing when Kali Yuga began. Like that.
Thank you so much.
My time is up.
I think, yes, I think, Kavikanapur, we're very sorry.
Is that Kavikanapur's hand up there?
Yes, yes.
What does it have to say? You want to bless me in Kavikanapur, Prabhu? Please, I don't want to miss your blessing.
I want to take your blessing, Maharaj. Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I wanted to ask a question regarding Prabhu's question about our lifetime. I was just thinking that the 100 years, is it everyone who is destined to die 1 year? Then why some people die at 40, some people die at 30, some people die at 50, and some people die at 60? What is the cause? Is this sin or is their own destiny? Meanwhile, the general year is 100 years. So that is my question. And one other thing I wanted to say, Maharaj, is that when you are talking about the power of cow urine.
Yeah.
So I want to quickly say that yes, I've experienced the power of that medicine. There's one medicine here in Nigeria. That medicine is made with cow urine. And that medicine, you cannot swallow it. You just have to put little of it inside your mouth for 5 minutes. If you swallow it, you are going to faint. And if you put it in your mouth for that 5 minutes, your head will be sweating, your feet will be sweating, your palm will be sweating. You will feel how the medicine is opening your nerves. It works with nerves.
Yes.
So, and it's made with cow urine. So I was just saying to buttress that point. So, please answer my question, Maharaj. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I think, what is your question again? My mind has gone somewhere again. You were saying
it's about our lifetime.
Your lifespan. Why some people are dying younger and so on. Yes. Actually, the 100 years is the standard figure for the age of Kali. That's the standard figure. But it does not necessarily mean that everybody has to die at that age. Some people would exceed that age based on the punya, based on their credit, their pious credits. Long life is a result of pious credits. Beautiful body is a result of pious credits. Intelligence is a result of pious credits. Birth in a wealthy family is a result of pious credits. So, based on these pious credits, one can live more than 100 years. Similarly, due to sinful activities, one lifespan is reduced. Actually, it is meant like that. That people who are very sinful, they cannot live 100 years because the sin we perform actually reduces our ability to live long. So the 100 years is a standard age given, but there are exceptions. Some people can exceed it and some people will not get there. In fact, in Kali Yuga, many people cannot get 100 years. Because of the lifestyle, because people are no more following the Vedic tradition. They're eating anything, drinking anything, smoking anything, doing anything for life. And so it shortens their lives. And we shouldn't be surprised. It said by the end of Kali Yuga, if you are 20 years old, you'll be considered a very, very old man. And on this note, I will say thank you. We'll meet again sometime. It's already after 10 o'clock in India, and we have to take rest in order to attend Mangalati tomorrow morning. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your association. We look forward to meeting you again in the future. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
So much. It's great. We are very grateful for the time. And as you may be aware, you've left us in suspense, but we cannot hold you here because you got to go. But so many people, including myself, have questions that we would have loved you to answer. But this is all you can for us. So, dear devotees, we humbly requesting you all.
My question has part 2.
Next time.
Yes, we humbly requesting you all to kindly unmute and we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express our appreciation. Jai. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Vaishnav Thakur ki jai.